Good morning to all of you and welcome to the session, the Hindu editorial analysis for proficiency in English. Let us start with the first snippet. It is about Gaza conflict. Children are dying from starvation. This has been in the limelight for quite some time, for the last 2 years, in fact, since October 7th, ever since the attack by Hamas, Israeli attack, and also kidnapping some Israelis or taking them as hostages. Ever since that incident, Israel has been bombarding that region, and a lot of people got affected. They died also children, women, and journalists, aid workers, all these people. And recently, we have got a snippet, a news article children dying because of famine and starvation. There are two words you have to look at. One is Gaza conflict, simple, dying. You got to be careful with spelling. From starvation. Starvation means what? No food for some days, then it is called starvation. You say, I'm starving. And famine. Famine means what? Not food is not available, lack of availability of food. And lack of no rain for some time, we use the word drought. No food, we use the word famine. And people die because of hunger, starvation. Children are dying, unfortunately, it is about that. And because of that, and not only children, a lot of people are dying. Some critics have said this amounts to genocide. What is the meaning of genocide? Killing people of a particular race or community. Scarcity. Dunker's resignation, Amit Shah dismisses opposition's claims. All are simple words. Already you know former Vice President Dhankar. Based on that, vacuum has been created. Elections are in the pipeline. Amit Shah dismisses opposition's claims. They must have said something, and the Home Minister dismisses those claims. Claim means to state something, to say something. You may have proof, may not have proof. Usually it has a negative connotation. Here there is one important word. What is that word? Induction. Generally, I tell youngsters, today you are an aspirant, tomorrow you become an achiever. And once you get the job, first day in some office, someone receives you, introduces others, tells about your responsibility. The whole process is called induction, taking into the organization in a formal way. Here, ship induction, taking into Navy. Udaygiri, Himgiri to join Navy today. Means they have been taken into the organization, and based on that, the word induction, an important word you guys have to know. Coming to the next one, very important, so many important words are there. Action against the journalists. And here you see wiring together of a conspiracy. Wiring together means what? Bringing together, joining also you can say. Usually wires, what do? We try to join. And this goes with joining certain things and to the extent of calling it a conspiracy. What is the meaning of conspiracy? You try to do something illegal or negative, joining hands with someone in a secretive manner, that is called conspiracy. Important day, red letter day. Very good, Shrikant. Law worse than sedition is being weaponized with impunity. A particular law that is worse than, then you have to recollect the adjective bad. Bad is a positive form, worse, worst. Worse is comparative, so the word than has been used. Worse than what? Sedition. Sedition is an important word. I have done a few editorials. Sedition means inciting, instigating, provoking, either through writing or speech, instigating people to revolt against the government. That is known as sedition. And he is being weaponized, he is being used as a weapon with impunity. Impunity also an important word. What does it mean? Exemption from punishment. Imagine law is there, we have to follow the law. But some people, if they don't follow the law also, they are not punished. Then we say they have the impunity. That is also very important. So many important words based on the snippet. Coming to the next one, You can make out the famous tennis player, the one with maximum number of Grand Slam titles, and second position Nadal, third Roger Federer. Djokovic is the number one. Once he was number one, but still he is the one with maximum number of Grand Slam titles. Smooth start. Djokovic eases into the second round. There's one important word here, eases. This is about the US Open. And you have to recollect one important rule. What is that rule? Before a sports event, we should use a definite article, the World Cup, the Olympics, the US Open, the French Open, the Wimbledon. That rule you should recollect. And coming to eases into, ease means feel comfortable, go smoothly. He speaks with a lot of ease, means with a lot of comfort. And when it comes to rain, imagine initially heavy rain, after some time the intensity goes down, then we should use appraisal verb. You have to say, the rain has eased off. Eased off means intensity got reduced. That also you have to recollect. Coming to the front page headline, let us see what it is. This also has been in the limelight for quite some time. Supreme Court asks Union government to draw up an important phrasal verb. In this context, to draw up rules means make or frame rules. Draw up rules on social media conduct, an important word. Why is it important? You have to recollect the related idioms and expressions. Conduct means organize something. They conducted the event successfully. Conduct an event. But what is the word here, though with the same spelling? Conduct. Conduct means a behavior. While leaving the college, we ask for conduct certificate, means about the behavior. Here, Supreme Court asks Union government to draw up rules, frame rules on social media conduct, on social media behavior. That's what you have to think of. You got to be careful. Coming to the other snippets this side, you can see Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel to support Beirut's efforts to disarm Hezbollah. It is about West Asian crisis in a way, Israel and Hamas, Hezbollah, all these. Beirut's efforts to disarm means taking away the arms or capturing them, you can say, disarm Hezbollah. Bihar voters get mandatory hearing, says Election Commission. Will get, future tense, will get what? Mandatory hearing. Mandatory means what? Compulsory. Disarmament. Yes, you should recollect. Rare talent. Get mandatory hearing, says Election Commission. You all know SIR regarding that. They get a chance, mandatory hearing. Who says that? Supreme Court. We have one more snippet here. Reserve Bank of India to back tariff hit sectors. You all know, because of Donald Trump, his presidency, second term, he imposed the tariffs on many countries, and he has been focusing on immigration and tariffs. Illegal immigrants, obviously, no country will accept illegal immigrants to be within the country. Nothing wrong in that. One has to drive out illegal immigrants. Coming to tariffs, he has imposed. And because of that, a lot of people have already lost jobs. If you take Gujarat, diamond industry, diamond cutting industry, about 1 lakh people lost their jobs. Other sectors also, many people have lost jobs because of these high tariffs, initially 25%, then 50%. Based on that, Reserve Bank of India to support tariff hit sectors. Not one sector, many sectors got affected. RBI is going to step in and help those sectors in some form or other. One more snippet, taking steps to save Malayali nurse. Taking steps to save Malayali nurse center. One particular lady, a nurse, she killed someone, allegation, and she has been sentenced to death. And some people are trying to save her. Even the center is trying to play a crucial role. It is regarding that. Now you can see a pic full of positive vibes, all smiles. Who is this? Familiar space. Back to school. The first Indian astronaut. to go to the International Space Station. Group Captain Subhanshu Shukla with his wife Kamna Shukla at a felicitation at the alma mater City Montessori School in Lucknow on Monday. There are two important words. One is impose, levy, tax, tariff, all that. Who is this? Chandini. Good. What is the first word you have to focus on? Felicitation. There are two words which come under confusing words. One is facilitation, another felicitation. Facilitate means to provide, facilitate the services, facilitate the something, make something happen, provide something. But what is this word here? Felicitation. When you achieve something, your achievement is recognized. Then public recognize, acknowledge that publicly. That is known as felicitation function. The other word, alma mater, very important, means a school or college where you studied. That is referred to as alma mater. Foreign expression, very important, you have to remember. Montessori school, that is alma mater. Coming to the next one, Supreme Court stays action against analyst over erroneous post on polls. Erroneous means a mistake, by mistake. Flaw, error, erroneous, they all mean the same. Not intentional, not deliberate, by mistake, erroneous post. Supreme Court wanted that to be action to be stopped. Let us go to the next one. Don't frame charges against academics, says Supreme Court. Don't frame charges against, one important word here, academic. Generally, we use the word in the plural form, academics. Academics, that word goes with studies. Academic means what? Related to study. But here, academic means a person who is a faculty. Usually, we use the word faculty, faculty member. You can also say academic. Rarely used, goes with the newspaper. Here, it means a faculty member. That's all from the front page of today's the Hindu. Now let us go to editorial analysis. Today it is an important editorial in the sense it goes with the polity, it goes with debates in the lower house, in the upper house, discussions, deliberations, and based on that, nowadays debates are not happening in Parliament. Regarding that, the Home Minister has made a statement. That statement has been taken as a stimulus. Editorial has been written. And today we have got some important words and new dimensions have been added. Let us go to the first word. What is the first word here? Diatribe, an important word. They have given many a time, both in banks and SSC. Part of speech noun meaning a bitter, forceful, or abusive verbal attack against someone or something. Verbally, you attack someone or something, very severe, very bitter, then we have to use the word diatribe. Word family rarely used as verb adjective, used as a noun. Synonyms, tirade, an important word, denunciation, important word, criticism, simple word, rant, important word, polemic, important word, invective, important word. See, so many important synonyms are there. After the session, you have to spend some time and you have to make your own examples to remember these important words. Antonyms, commendation, very important. When someone does good job, what do we say? Commendable work means praiseworthy, highly appreciable. Eulogy, an important word. Praise is a simple word. Tribute, you all know. And panegyric, this is also an important word. We have important words both in synonyms and also in antonyms. You have to spend some time, otherwise impossible to remember. Collocations, diatribe against a government launch issue. Then deliver a diatribe, bitter, angry diatribe. Example, the opposition leader launched a scathing, means severely criticizing diatribe against the new economic policy. What is the exam tip here? Often used in reading comprehension passages to signal criticism or hostility. Where is this word used? Imagine there's a passage and somewhere the writer wants to talk about a particular policy being criticized. Then the writer may use this particular word to show the criticism, hostility. Hostility, you have to recollect words like enmity, antagonistic, all those. Second word, distress. We have got a few times. At the time of COVID, if you take that time, migrant workers, they had to, sudden lockdown, they had to undergo distress. Part of speech, it can be a noun, it can be a verb. As a noun, extreme anxiety, sorrow, or pain. As a verb, to cause suffering or discomfort. Distress, you should simply remember the word suffering. Word family, distressing adjective, distressed adjective, distressingly adverb. Synonyms, anguish, an important word, agony, an important word, hardship, an important word, torment, an important word. See, all these words you should have at your fingertips. Agony, anguish, mental pain or physical pain, severe pain, acute pain. Antonyms, comfort, relief, solace, important word. Other words are easy. Collocations, financial distress, in distress, emotional, mental distress, distress call, signal. When a ship or a plane in danger, they send SOS, and it is like emergency call to save someone, and distress call, that is also called distress call. Example, farmers in the drought hit region are in severe financial distress. Example, as a noun, this one financial distress. As a verb, the tragic news deeply distressed her. It is a regular verb, distressed. Poor, you have to recollect dianj, dia. Penury, pauper, destitution, very important. Exam tip, watch for noun versus verb usage in fillers and usage questions. We have two exam topics. Exactly, rare talent, SOS call. We have two exam topics, one fillers, the other one word usage. Whenever you come across a word which could be a noun, a verb, then you have to think of their relevance from these two topics' point of view. Because many a time they have given practice, TICE noun form, TISE verb form, advise, VICE noun form, VISC verb form. And they use these words when it comes to exam topics like fillers and word usage questions. There you got to be careful. Acrimonious, another important word, it goes with argument. Part of speech noun meaning angry and bitter, especially in speech or debate. When you debate, when you talk to someone angrily, argue with someone, then we use acrimonious argument. Fight also you can say. Word family, acrimony, noun, acrimoniously, adverb. Acrimonious, noun, it can be also adjective. Here actually acrimonious, better, adjective. What are the synonyms? Synonyms here, bitter, hostile, caustic, rancorous, important word, spiteful, important word. Antonyms, friendly, cordial, amicable, important word. Collocations, acrimonious debate, acrimonious dispute, acrimonious divorce, acrimonious relationship. Example, the meeting ended in an acrimonious debate between the ruling and opposition parties. Appears in reading comprehension tone questions, signals bitterness in relations or arguments. This word is used in the passage, and based on that, they may ask the tone of the passage. That's how it is relevant from the exam point of view. Next one, propitious, an important word, not easy to remember. Part of speech, noun, meaning it can be adjective. Let us see. What is the meaning? Something very bad, indicating a good chance of success. I'm sorry. Antonyms I was talking about, meaning indicating a good chance of success, favorable. Remember the word auspicious. Yes, that also you can say. Who is this? Manisha. Favorable, auspicious, positive words. Word family, propitiously, propitiousness, noun form, adverb. Synonyms, favorable, promising, auspicious, many of us know, advantageous, fortunate. Antonyms, inauspicious, unfavorable, adverse, Ominous. Ominous is an important word. Adverse also important word. Ominous means very bad, something bad. Sinister also you can recollect. Very good. Pravalika. Collocations, propitious time, moment, opportunity, propitious conditions, propitious circumstances. Example, the peace talks began at a propitious moment when both sides were willing to compromise. Exam tip, watch out in time inference question, tone inference questions, usually used in positive or hopeful context. When it comes to tone question, bode well, very good. Who is this? Mukesh. Tone, or when it comes to inference based questions, they may use, based on these words, they may ask questions. Indicate some hope. The next one, that's all for today, but we have more words. We have got many a time. Now let us see what this editorial is about and what is there to learn. Beyond a debate, on debate in India's democracy. Here, debate in the sense, where is this debate? Which debate are they talking about? Debates in parliament, in the lower house, in the upper house, in the assemblies, debate, deliberations or discussions. What is the main idea? Dysfunction of legislatures is due to concentration of power in the executive. Dysfunction means not functioning properly. Dysfunction of what? Legislatures. What is the reason for that? Is due to concentration of power or authority in the executive. Very important. Parley, deliberations, discussions, that's right. Why is it important? Whenever we talk about a government, any government has three bodies or three wings: executive, legislature, judiciary. Before these three, we should use a definite article, the judiciary, the executive, the legislature. That rule you have to recollect. In a nutshell, this editorial is about no discussions are taking place in parliament, no deliberations are taking place in parliament. Once you know that it is about that particular dimension, what could be the broad framework? The writer may tell us stimulus, Home Minister's statement, then may talk about the reality and may present the statistical data to show that they are not happening, then may provide a few remedies or solutions. This is a broad framework. Let us see how it starts. Addressing the two-day All India Speakers Conference. Speakers. Here we have a plural noun ending in the letter S. Then we should use the apostrophe after the letter S. Addressing the two-day All India Speakers Conference in New Delhi on August 24, 2025, Union Home Minister Shah called attention to the frequent disruptions that have paralyzed deliberations in assemblies and parliament. There are two important words. Disruption means what? We have got many a time. Interruption. Interruptions that have paralyzed. Paralyzed here means not able to function, not the typical paralysis. Paralyzed as a verb, it means something is not able to function, someone is not able to function. Paralyzed what? Deliberations. Deliberate means open. That is a different meaning. Deliberations as a noun means deep discussions. Lot of discussion, going deep into the issue. Then we use the word deliberation. Paralyzed deliberations in assemblies and parliament. His point that debate must take place in a democracy is beyond any debate. This is a sentence of the day. Look at the presentation. Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, has a point. What is that point? In a democratic setup, debate is a must. You cannot imagine a democratic setup without a debate. And debate is a must. Debate must take place in a democracy, and that particular point is beyond any debate. The fact that a debate is a must in a democratic system, no one can deny that, no one can debate that. That's what the sentence means. It is beyond any debate. You can also use a simple word like it is beyond any doubt. But when one goes beyond the truism, if you go beyond the truism, means when you look at the reality, ground reality, a picture of India's representative democracy is in distress emerges. When you go beyond the concept, the ideology, you go and see the ground reality, practically what is happening, a picture emerges. What is that picture? It is nothing but democracy is in distress. Democracy in distress emerges. A picture of India's representative democracy in distress emerges. That picture emerges. What is that picture? Democracy is in distress, means democracy is suffering. Bitterness between the government and the opposition has erased the scope for any common ground, and parliament has been reduced to a theatre of mutual diatribe. Lot of bitterness between the ruling party and opposition. And because of that bitterness, any scope for discussion has been removed, erased. Bitterness between the government and the opposition has erased, present perfect active voice, the scope for any common ground. When you discuss, you may get a common ground, but that has been removed. And parliament has been reduced. Which tense is this? Present perfect passive voice has been reduced to what? A theatre of mutual diatribe. Mutual diatribe means ruling party members criticize opposition members. Opposition members criticize ruling party members. Mutual criticism, mutual diatribe. This is a statement given by the writer, and the writer has to justify with statistical data. Now you can see some sentences where you come across data. His remarks followed. When did his remarks followed soon after the opposition's protests demanding a debate on the special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar that led to repeated adjournments. Amit Shah's remarks, when did they come? Followed soon after the opposition's protests. Opposition protested. Why did they protest? They wanted a discussion on SIR, but perhaps they were denied. And after that, the Home Minister has given a statement demanding a debate on the special intensive revision of electoral rolls in Bihar that led to repeated adjournments. When they protested, they must have adjourned. Adjourn means temporary postponement. Most of the legislative business was carried out with little or no debate. I think, let me check. Yes. Most of the legislative business was carried out. Carry out means what? Execute. With little or no debate. Little means negative connotation. A little means at least to some. Little or no discussion or debate. To justify that, in a session with 21 sittings spread out over 32 days, 15 bills were passed. According to the PRS Legislative Research Analysis, the Lok Sabha functioned for 29% of its scheduled time and the Rajya Sabha for 34%, the lowest functioning seen during the 18th Lok Sabha. It is like 1/3, plus or minus 3/4. 1/3, 2/3 time lost. The lowest functioning seen during the 18th Lok Sabha. 2/3 of the planned time was lost to repeated adjournments. Why did they lose precious time, 2/3 of the time? Because of repeated adjournments. In the lower house, only 8% of starred questions received an oral reply, while it was 5% in the upper house. So Lok Sabha 8%, Rajya Sabha 5%. On 12 days in the Rajya Sabha and on 7 in the Lok Sabha, no questions were answered orally over the 21 days. For some days, no questions were answered. Question hour, an instrument of executive accountability, a tool of executive accountability. You're accountable for your actions, means what? You're answerable. When you do something, you should try to justify. Has been rendered ineffective. Has been rendered, present perfect passive voice. Render means make. Has been made ineffective. You can say that also. Better word is what? Has been rendered ineffective. Second part talks about what? The dysfunction of legislatures is linked to. Why does it happen, dysfunction of legislature? What is the reason behind? Is linked to concentration of power in the chief executive, the Prime Minister and the Chief Ministers and Chief Ministers. What is the reason behind? One, concentration of power or authority in the hands of the Chief Executive, the Prime Minister and Chief Ministers. Again, to justify, according to the annual review of the State Laws 2024 by PRS Legislative Research, state assemblies met for an average of just 20 days in 2024, down from 28 in 2017. That is not substantial. Larger states such as Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh recorded only 16 sitting days, while Odisha and Kerala led with 42 and 38 days respectively. Odisha 42 and Kerala 38 days. More than half the bills were passed on the same day with little debate. Means what? The bills were passed without any debate. With little debate means without any debate. 8 assemblies do not have a deputy speaker. The Lok Sabha hasn't had an important pattern, which tense is that present perfect active voice. I haven't had, it hasn't had an important pattern. 8 assemblies do not have a deputy speaker. The Lok Sabha hasn't had a deputy speaker since June 2019. When you see the preposition since, 2 tenses are possible. One present perfect, the other one present perfect continuous. Here present perfect has been used. Parliamentary committees that used to be a platform for more deliberative and less acrimonious debates have also become vulnerable to partisanship. Acrimonious, bitter. Partisanship means a prejudice, favoritism, partiality, bias. These parliamentary committees also, once they would be a platform for more deliberative discussions or debates, now they have become, and that time they were less acrimonious, now completely acrimonious. It is auspicious that Mr. Shah thinks that there should be more debate in legislatures. That is a good thing. Home Minister talks about debates. There should be debates in the parliament. That's a good thing, auspicious, propitious, but contrasting word. It will be meaningful only when the government translates that view into action by engaging with the opposition. When does it make sense, the statement given by the Home Minister? If the government engages the opposition in a discussion or a debate, then it makes sense. And what is the solution given by the editorial? A starting point can be a consensus election of an opposition leader as a deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha. If they, without any argument, without any discussion, unanimously, they make the opposition leader the deputy speaker of the parliament, that is the first step according to the writer. That's all about the editorial. Now let us go to questions, mini mocks. First 5 questions based on reading comprehension skill and listening skill. Try to read the first one and try to answer. What is the central theme of the passage? What is this editorial about? Parliamentary democracy in India is vibrant. It is not vibrant. You cannot choose a positive word. Context is negative. Frequent disruptions are healthy, ridiculous. Legislative dysfunction is largely a result of excessive executive dominance. This is what the editorial says. What is the answer here? C is the answer. Legislative dysfunction is why? As a result of excessive executive dominance. Power is centered. Concentration of power with the executive. Chief Executive, Prime Minister and Chief Ministers. C is the answer. What is the tone of the editorial? Here, context talks about analysis and criticism. 2 dimensions are there. You cannot, nothing is positive over here. Then you cannot consider positive words like optimistic and something like neutral, something like laudatory. Laudable means appreciable. What is the answer? Not sarcastic, analytical and critical. Second one, B is the answer. Very good. You guys got it right. Which of the following facts was highlighted by a PRS legislative research according to the passage? A particular fact has been highlighted. That means it is a question based on explicit information. Lok Sabha functions for 60%? No. Rajya Sabha answered more than 70%. No. Average sitting days of state assemblies fell to 20 in 2024. Average sitting days, about 20 when it comes to assemblies. That's what the editorial says. Answer is C. What does the author imply by stating Parliament has been reduced to a theatre of mutual diatribe, mutually attacking each other? What does it mean? Has become a venue for lively intellectual debates. Lawmakers are more engaged in personal attacks and constructive discussions. This is the answer, but in the editorial, you don't come across the word personal. In attacks, then it is acceptable. Overpowered, impossible. Opposition cannot overpower. Parliamentary committees, once they were good, but now no longer reached its highest quality. There's no debate as such. That's why this has been written. B is the answer. Which of the following is a writer's suggested remedy? Remedy means a solution. This is a good question because descriptive English, essay or letter writing, usually essay, they take a particular problem, they ask you to write about the problem, and they also, second part of the question, they ask you to suggest something, solutions. Suggest two remedies or three remedies. What is the solution given by the writer? The last sentence of the editorial talks about the suggestion. Complete abolition, more sittings, no. Consensus based election of an opposition leader as deputy speaker. That is a starting point to have debates again in the parliament, suggested by the writer. C is the answer. We have exam based, topic based questions, exam topics based questions. First one, error location. Try to read carefully and try to spot the error. The Supreme Court's order directing strays to be confined in shelters were reversed 11 days later, allowing their release after vaccination and deworming, with aggressive animals retained. Whenever you read a sentence, first thing you have to focus on the time phrase. There's no time phrase, check the subject verb agreement. What is the subject here? The Supreme Court's order. The key word order. Then always adding more information. Directing strays to be confined in shelters, don't consider the phrase. Order, singular or plural? Singular. Then you cannot say were. The order was changed. Order was reversed. We need a singular verb. There is an error in the third part. A question based on double fillers. India bears one of the world's heaviest burdens of rabies, and anthropological accounts are clear that this threat affects daily life, you can say, and children's movement. Movement, generally we use the word restrict. And stray dogs, if stray dogs are everywhere, children cannot play outside. Their movements are restricted. With that awareness, here this is a clue. Children's movements expanding, no. Enabling, no. Broadening, no. Enhancing, no. Limiting. What is the answer? Shapes daily life, limiting children's movements. B is the answer. Very good. Word usage, the word is compassion. Compassion means what? Kindness. And in one particular sentence, it has been used incorrectly. Your job is to find out that sentence where the word has been used incorrectly. The court attempted to reconcile compassion with safety, correct? Compassion towards street dogs must not override human rights. This is also correct. Her compassion of learning. Here, learning, you cannot use the word compassion because compassion means what? Kindness. What is the right word here? Her passion. Her passion to learn. Passion is the right word, not compassion. This is the answer. Here it has been used incorrectly. True compassion is not annulled if dogs are removed from public roads, properly used. Compassion should translate into humane euthanasia when necessary. All other sentences properly used. Sentence improvement. Here you have a sentence and a few words have been highlighted. First, you have to decide right or wrong. If not correct, choose the correct or appropriate option. Street dogs are woven into India's urban fabric, even offering companionship, company to the homeless. But these perspective singular, and these plural. That means it is not correct. Either it should be this perspective or these perspectives. That means you have to choose one of these. Here it talks about even but should be in bold. It should have been in yellow color. And we need the word such. How many options with such? All the four options. Such perspectives deserves. Perspectives plural, then you cannot say deserves. And such perspectives deserve a place, but such perspectives deserve a place. Here we cannot use those such perspectives deserving. That is not correct. We have to choose between and but. Context talks about contrast. Then you cannot choose the word. What is the answer? But such perspectives deserve a place in cultural discourse. Connector. Which of the following can appropriately connect the two sentences? What is the first sentence? India already maintains similar institutions for cattle on a large scale. Properly resourced canine shelters can also be managed effectively. Of the three options, two talk about contrast, but those two sentences don't show any contrast. Based on that, you cannot consider in spite of, on the contrary. Only one we can consider. That means what is the answer? A is the answer. India already maintains similar institutions for cattle on a large scale. Likewise, properly resourced canine shelters can also be managed effectively. So what is the answer? A is the answer. These are the words you got yesterday. Compassion means what? Kindness. Stray means street. Stray dogs, stray children, street children. Confine means restrict. Impoundment also means the same, restrict or confine. Squalor, dirty place, a place which is very dirty, not maintained properly. Oversight could be positive, could be negative. Oversight, overlook, negative. Oversight, carefully observe something, positive. Niche, a specific segment, a specific habitat. Annul, to make something null and void or to invalidate something. Euthanasia, mercy killing. Humane means kind. Human related to the mankind, humane, kind. Important word. Statute means a written law. Menace means a threat. Menace of stray dogs, threat of stray dogs. That's all for today. I hope you guys have got enriched. And try to spend some time on vocab. That will help in the long run. Always work on new words. Today, based on the actual word in the editorial, and based on those words, we got many new words under synonyms and antonyms. After the session, you have to spend some time, and that will help in the long run. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.